Are you okay, Christy? I heard that you just got into an accident. Thank you for checking on me, Angelica, but I think I'm doing okay now. I'm certainly not going to die from it. Oh, so you're alive, Christy. But you'd got into a bad car accident, so are you really okay? I heard that what happened looked horrible from the outside. I just happened to really cut my head up, so there was a lot of blood. I'd been going at a green light, and a car not paying attention ran right into me. At first I thought it was all my fault, but soon after I knew what had happened. But really, I'm doing just fine now. I may be covered in a lot of cuts and bruises, but there's no broken bones or anything serious. Is that so? So then, that means you'll be able to make it to your wedding tomorrow still. Well, I think that having my wedding tomorrow is going to be a little tough for me now. A lot of me is still stiff and sore, and the doctor wants me to stay in the hospital for the night to make sure there are no hidden issues. He's saying to at least stay for a week because there was some internal bleeding around my stomach that he'd like to watch. So that means that tomorrow's wedding is going to be canceled. After all that work you put in, it'd be a huge waste. And because of how beautiful you had everything, I was so looking forward to it. I know, it's really sad, but that's what'll have to happen. And I'm sure that your fiancé is going to be sad as well. I wonder, and just hear me out here, but I wonder if it'd be such a bad thing if someone was to take your place as the bride? Huh? You know for a fact that wouldn't be right. Why the hell would you say that? I was just joking. Well, if you plan to go forward with canceling the wedding, you should get that all taken care of sooner rather than later, right? If you don't mind, I can do all of that for you. That way you can sit back and relax while your body heals. Huh? You want to do it, Angelica? You only just got into that accident, so it's not fair to make you work even harder now. Just leave canceling the wedding and everything that goes along with that to me. I feel happy that you'll do that, but I'm sorry. I'm with Jared right now, so we can both handle it. No, you are injured, and so you have to relax and sleep. And I'm literally asking you to let me do it. I can make it all happen and you won't even have to move a finger. And I have all the time in the world, so this won't be a problem at all. I can work together with Jared even and get all the paperwork filled out for you guys to cancel. Are you sure you want to do all of that? It's my fault after all that the wedding will be canceled. So I feel really bad having someone else go through all that work for me. I don't mind at all. Leave canceling your wedding to me. So now take a nap and let Jared and I get to work. And I don't want you worrying about anything either.
Christy, how are you doing after the crash? I heard about it from Angelica. She's saying that you want to cancel tomorrow's wedding?
I'm so sorry that I have to do this, Jared. I never thought that I'd get into an accident the day before the wedding. If it doesn't bother you to do it another time, can you work with Angelica to have the wedding canceled and everything?
And before we focus on the wedding, how is your insurance going to cover that? Do you have any idea how much money you'll get for the crash and for having to be in hospital?
Huh?
Not only did you happen to be the victim, but you also ended up with lots of cuts and bruising from the crash, right? And now you can't even have the wedding we planned on. You have to make sure that the man who did this to you has his insurance cover you and everything. If you can make that happen, you should ask for at least $50,000 in a settlement.
What are you talking about, Jared? I'm very upset about having to cancel the wedding, but you're talking about all the legal stuff right now? I didn't even get that badly injured, so the money I'd get wouldn't be much.
Huh? You sure? So you're not at least going to be getting like $25,000 for that accident?
I'll probably get enough to cover the car and the medical side of things. And since I'll have to be off work a bit, I suppose I'll get some money for the missed days. But please, don't think that I'm going to make out with a lot of money after this.
What the heck, Christy? There's no way you're only going to get that much after being the victim in a car crash. Especially when you got hurt worse than he did.
What? Your fiancé just got into a car crash and you're going to talk to me like that? You shouldn't just be coming to me to ask about the money involved in all of this anyway, Jared.
Oh, shut up. If you want me to be more worried about you, then maybe you need to break a couple of bones. Then we might actually be able to get a lot of money. But getting into that crash to only come out bruised and cut is such a waste. Now we can't get crap from that guy.
Excuse me?
Ugh, I never thought that after all that you'd only come out with pocket change. At this point, you're making it sound like you don't even care about money. You were sure right about this affecting her wedding.
You're talking to your fiancé like I'm supposed to be your moneymaker? If he had been going a bit faster, I might be dead right now, Jared.
Well, if he was going a lot faster, then my bank account would be loaded with money. Well, good luck with that lackluster recovery of yours. I'll have that wedding of ours canceled, and if I'm still feeling up to it, I might come see you there.
Christy, I have something to tell you about the wedding tomorrow. We're not going to be canceling it. Instead, the wedding will go to me now. We even made sure to call the chapel and told them I'd be the new bride now. Huh? What do you mean the wedding is now yours? I changed your information out for mine, and now I'll be the one marrying Jared. I was not just going to let the chance of chances slip between my fingers. It's like a dream right now for me. Huh? Why are you going to be the one marrying Jared? He's my fiancé, after all. I'm sorry about that, Christy. But for a long time now, he and I have been secretly dating behind your back. He and I are like two halves of a heart. What? But since I was second in line for him to you, he said he couldn't just cancel the wedding with you. I was planning on giving up. But to think I'd be so lucky that my older sister would get into a car accident and leave the wedding for me to take. And this was all Jared's idea in the first place. He said he'd throw you away and marry me instead. Huh? Wait. I can't even comprehend what I'm reading here. So, in other words, you're saying just that? You both have been dating behind my back for a long time now? That means you've been cheating on me. I haven't been the one cheating because I really do love him. And now he's saying that he'll throw me away and marry you instead? You're kidding me, right? What the hell is this? Why am I only just hearing of this now? Well, come on, Christy. I've been wanting to get married for a while now. I had been looking for some kind of model to marry, but none even exist around here. So then I dropped my expectations to a good-looking man with money. And then I thought I could just become a housewife at that point. You want to become a housewife? For a while, I've been working a part-time job and trying to get modeling gigs of my own. So there's no way I can actually keep working after getting married, right? So when I think of that, I decided I had no choice but to find me a man that'll let me quit working and take care of me. And so why does that mean you have to take my fiancé? If you really want to get married, then find one of the thousands of other men that live around here to marry. But having to date a whole bunch of men is a pain in the butt for me. Huh? I just wanted to get married fast. I've been thinking that maybe I'd spend a little time while with them and then marry while I'm still young and cute. When I was thinking that, I ran into Jared and we started to go out. When you and him had been dating for a bit and he finally came over to Mom and Dad's house to say that he'd marry you, that's when he and I started to date. My head was going crazy that day. You are lying, right, Angelica? You've been after him ever since then? He has the kind of face that I'm into, and he works for a huge company. So he really did turn out to be the man I was always looking for. I guess you could call him my destiny now that we're going to get married tomorrow. There's no way you could use such a sorry excuse to cheat with your sister's boyfriend all that time. Sorry excuse, huh? What do you mean by that? My whole life as a secondhand model was having to be with old creepy guys asking to take lewd pictures of me, and most weren't even good looking. So because of that, I wanted a proper man that looked good enough to be lewd for. And it's even better when that man can take care of me so that I don't have to work anymore. And after so long of dreaming about that, the chance came. Even if he's not a sexy model, he's working for a really nice company. And so that's why you think it's fine to take your older sister's fiancé and marry him? I can't even believe that you'd have him cheat on me. But now you're saying that you really wanted to marry him that whole time? No matter what you try and say, Christy, Jared has already chosen me to be his wife. And at this point, the chapel has now been taken by us for the wedding. And I'll be the bride tomorrow. So now just be quiet and lay there in that hospital bed while you recover. I see. Well, I'm happy for you both. Oh, don't get so upset by this. I know that you won't be able to marry him now, but he's still going to become your brother-in-law. So now you can call him brother and everything, you know? I'm not upset about this at all, actually. Really, if anything, I'm thankful that you came. You finally took the man that's been ridden with debt right out of my hands, so thank you. I'll make sure to think about the two of you while you get married tomorrow. Huh? Ridden with debt? He is? He was able to pay off a small chunk of it, but he's still left with another $60,000 to go, I think. It may be a while before you both can pay that all off, but at least you can be happy alongside him. Now, instead of it having to be me, you can be the one to care for his every need and support him financially. Wait a minute. What do you mean by ridden with debt? And when you say he still has $60,000, you don't mean that that's the amount still needing to be paid off, right? Well, to be honest, I only learned about all of this after we had decided to get married. Not even till after he had met our parents and I had met his. And not even until after we had made reservations for the chapel and everything. Once that was all over with, he had told me the truth. He told me right to my face that in the past he had trouble with money, and so he took out a lot of loans and then began to borrow more money to pay off those loans. It turned into a huge cycle and eventually landed him where he is now. What? So after all of that, he decided to tell you about it? If it were any normal girl that he had told that to, they would have left him in a heartbeat. But in my case, we had already reserved that wedding chapel, and I had already told my parents and all my friends about the wedding. And by that point, I couldn't see myself breaking things off with him and running. In my head, I accidentally thought that without me, he'd never make it in this world. And that was my reason for really staying by his side through everything since that day. But because you came into the picture, my eyes have really opened. I finally saw that I had no need for a pile of garbage like him in my life and don't have to support him. But Jared is working for a huge company right now, right? So how come he's not able to pay off his debt with the salary he gets? If he were just going to take things a bit more seriously, he could pay all that debt off in a couple of months, right? Well, when it comes to Jared, he's awful with the money he makes. Whenever I'd ask that he save up a bit of money to start making payments, he'd go out and buy himself a high-end brand bag. Then he'd follow up by saying that because he works so hard at his job, he's allowed to splurge a little on the things he likes. But then he'd just go out and borrow more money and buy something that he doesn't need. What? And because of that, he has really put himself into a hole. He may have been able to pay off some stuff, but he always ends up borrowing more and goes right back to square one. Why is he such an idiot? Why would he do all of that if he needs to be saving money? Right? He really is such a dunce. But because of that, he and you will make such a great couple together. A man that's willing to hide his debt until he's about to get married, and a little sister that thought it was okay to steal her sister's fiancé and wedding. What? So go ahead and have a wonderful time with Jared for me. I'm looking forward to hearing how that wedding goes tomorrow.
What the hell were you thinking? Hey, why the hell would you expose the fact that I'm in debt to her? Now Angelica's all over me with a crap ton of messages. She said she wants us to rethink our whole marriage. Why does a man like me, with an excellent job, have to be broken down by you?
Well, whether it was today or a week from now, she was going to find out, Jared. And on top of that, you really did a good job cheating on me with my little sister. I'll make sure that you pay me for breaking apart our plans for marriage.
What? You know that I'm neck deep in debts. There's no way you can say that to me. Do you think that I'll just borrow even more money to pay you for doing nothing wrong?
Well, I don't care if you have to borrow more or not. I just want you to take responsibility for everything you did to me.
Responsibility for what? I get that I happened to cheat on you for a little bit, but she was all over me like an angry wasp. So it's not fair to blame me for having a little fun.
Shut the hell up, you disgusting man. I bet the whole reason you chose to marry her in the end is because you couldn't get the insurance money you wanted after my accident, right? You weren't able to get a dime from me, and since I was canceling the wedding, you couldn't have me in your way anymore, right?
Well, that's,
But now that you've thrown me away, you can get married to my cute little sister. The woman that works a minimum wage part-time job and is trying to make it big as a model. Good luck making her your housewife after the wedding.
Huh? Wait a minute, Christy. What do you mean she's trying to make it big as a model? She told me that she's working as a top-tier model right now for high-end fashion brands.
Really?
I know that she's a model for a lot of things, but she told me that she's going to be making it big here soon in the modeling world. She even said that she'll be getting parts in some commercials for different high-end goods. She said that in no time she'll be making the big money from it all.
What is she talking about? I've never heard her say a thing about that. She's told me that all of those things are still a distant dream for her. And so while she works towards that, she goes and finds low-paying gigs with old men to have lewd pictures taken of her. I'd say last month she made somewhere between $500 and $600.
What?
So you're telling me that Christy told you all of those lies?
She did. That's everything she told me back then. And that's the whole reason that I decided to change to marrying her. Having her as my wife would make it 10 times easier to pay off all my debt since she had become loaded from all those modeling gigs. I'd also get myself a cute wife and never have to worry about buying anything I want ever again.
That girl really kept a lot of things hidden from you then, huh? But of course, you did the same thing to her.
Ah, crap. I can't believe she tricked me like that. This should have never happened to me. There's no merit in marrying some low-level model that does low-paying photo shoots for creepy old dudes. Why do I have to get married to a girl like that now?
And in any case, she saw little merit in marrying a man drowning in debt and spending all his money on things he doesn't need. So to me, this just sounds like both of you are being huge hypocrites about one another.
Huh?
Well, anyway, the two of you should start talking about what you'll do next now. And now I think I'm going to stop talking to you. My body feels like a brick and I need some sleep. And once things have calmed down for me, I'll be asking for that settlement from you. Christy, help me. I was lied to by Jared. What are you going on about? You just had your wedding and everything. So this means you guys went through with it, right? Why would you need any help from me when you should be oh so happy to marry the man of your dreams? But it's about Jared. He's the one that lied to me and made me marry him. Really? What do you mean by that one, Angelica? Well, when I went to him about the debt he has to question him, he told me that he had just about paid it all off. He told me that you must have been confused about how much he owed and all that. He then repeated to me again that he had most of it paid off and that I could calm down. Really? And so that's why today I decided I'd be okay marrying him after all. I thought that if he was pretty much debt-free, then I could become his housewife with no problems. I really thought that with him working for the two of us, I could rest a while and take things more easily at home. But then the moment we got married and handed our paperwork in, he told me that everything about him having the debt paid off was a lie. He said that he hasn't put a single penny in for the last few months and that him and I could start paying it off together. Wow, I wonder why the man that was a piece of crap would end up still being a piece of crap. I can't believe he lied to you again to get you to marry him. This is really messed up of him, right? But then when I started to get upset with him, he told me I had no reason to since I had already lied to him. I had only changed a few things when I told him about myself, though. He told me that you told him that this was my fault. Well, I never said this was all your fault. But what he said is true about you lying to him. But then why the hell did I ever end up dating him in the first place? Why did I even think that stealing him and your wedding would be a good idea? You may think that this is my fault, but all I wanted was to become a simple housewife. But now he's telling me to start working again tomorrow to keep bringing in money. Really? He wants you to start working even more? He wants me working at some place starting at night. At night? He said he has a friend he talked to that would let me start working for him and to begin getting ready for that job. He told me that if I have experience being lewd as a model, I shouldn't mind becoming a stripper. And the money I make will all go towards paying off his debt. And then he finished by saying that that's my job as his wife. That's so crazy of him that I can't even laugh at how messed up it all is. I wonder what his idea of a wife has been this whole time. Christy, I'm going to divorce him now. I'll even give Jared right back to you. So please, help me get everything ready to divorce him so I don't have to become a stripper. I don't think that's going to be possible, Angelica. I don't want a waste of money like that with me. But he was your fiancé, right? You have to still have some feelings for him, right? I'm sure there are still some things you like about Jared, right? Not a single thing about him pleases me. Actually, being able to leave him was a godsend. I can tell that God himself is saying that him being out of my life was the right choice. He wouldn't have had me get hit by luck, literally, for nothing. What do you mean, getting hit by literal luck? Well, the man that ended up hitting me at the intersection happened to be in a huge company with lots of money. And so, for hitting me and causing all the trouble, he gave me $100,000 to let things be. What? $100,000? You were able to get all that money from him, even when you didn't get hurt that badly? Also, the doctor I was with happened to be an old crush of mine from middle school. Man, I must have been destined to be hit yesterday. Being this close to him all the time now has really made my blood pressure rise, which isn't all that good while I'm trying to recover from an accident. What? What is up with that? It's like something out of a movie. I think that Jared was like some sort of thorn in my side for the longest time. But now that you have him, I wish you good luck being together. I'm sure that if you can pay off all his debt, you'll one day be able to become the housewife you've dreamed of becoming. But for the time being, enjoy showing random men your breasts. Right after that, just to keep myself out of their drama, I went and blocked the two of them on everything. From the rumors I've heard since then, those two ended up having a wedding where most of the people they invited never even showed up. But one of the people that did show up was one of the old men that was a fan of all her lewd photos. And he started posting online that she was supposed to marry him, yet she stabbed him in the back and married another man. And right now a whole ordeal is happening online over that. But right now, that once lewd model is now working 3 different jobs, and 2 of those are entertaining at strip clubs in town. Also with Jared, he's begun working a part-time the moment he gets out of his full-time job, all so that those two